r/AskReddit by Reddit stories. What's a common saying that annoys you? More recent, we're all in this together. In these unprecedented times. Now more than ever. In these insert highfalutin synonym for bad or weird times. Reminds me of the Animal Farm quote, all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. So basically, we're all in this together, but some of us are more together than others. I have enough problems these days without getting songs from High School Musical stuck in my head. I'm also irked by stay safe. Makes it sound like if you walk outside COVID is gonna kick the shit out of you or something. Or we're all in the same boat. No bitch, we're all in the same ocean, but some have a piece of driftwood and others have a yacht. Anything, strong flexed biceps, medium light skin tone. An airline sent me an email titled "We are all in this together. And how we will be back together soon." Cunts didn't hesitate to stop me from boarding MQY flight for having a carry-on with 1.2 kilograms overweight. I didn't even have any checked-in luggage. The new normal. Or this hero bullshit. The CNAs making $9/HR at the nursing home didn't sign up for any heroics. They're pinned in a nightmare situation, and no amount of applause from the parking lot can make up for the incredible risks they're being forced to take. That pseudo-empathetic corporate speak companies use in commercials lately. Often followed by wildcats. In the house. During the conference call where my employer announced they were furloughing employees, they said we're all in this together and our people are what makes this business special over and over and over. Obviously not. The new normal. The new normal. Adjusting to our new normal. In connection to that, social distancing. I've just heard it so many times I'm sick of it. Now, more than ever. Every freaking commercial. It's so annoying that every ad now has to be super dramatic. Every company using this phrase in an ad can politely but firmly fuck themselves. Remember kids, I'm pulling for ya. Bitch, don't bring me into this. Uncertain times. But in the end, we all die alone. That's how I've always heard it. Maybe I grew up around grumpy people or something. It's one of those truths that means not much. But why? We are all in this together. Together. Separately. Fractured, but whole. A large faction crying re when someone goes outside. An equally large faction crying re when someone doesn't want to go outside. This statement gives me a seizure. You know that's a bullshit saying. Doesn't make it any better when it's repeated ad nauseum and used as a motto for virtue signaling and used as a sugar-coated version of don't be a dick. Especially when they don't mean it. Gets High School Musical flashbacks. No, we are not. For 49 years, even though I suffered with depression, I was always outward happy and positive towards others. I hate people now. I am going to get into a fight if I am not careful. I see my behavior later, but at the time, I can't help it. I was checking out at the grocery, and some old guy came up and tried to ask the clerk for change. I looked straight at him and said, "He is helping me right now, wait your turn, dick." I just can't take stupidity, rudeness, and selfishness anymore. Sure, people tell me I am just as bad for acting this way, but fuck them too. Once we know. Yeah, especially when person that says that is in a better situation. We're entering a new normal. It's always some rich as fuck person recording from their personal bar/bowling alley. We're all sad. Strike. Out of an abundance of caution. Here in Britain the government and the pro-government media have really been pushing the WW2 Blitz comparison. This isn't a war. We can't get through this with good old British spirit. It's a pandemic that doesn't care how brave or courageous someone is. I really feel that togetherness when I go to the market and the employees are wearing their face masks half off their face, and the customers are breathing down my neck. I hate that saying. Is no one going to mention High School Musical? Nothing can stop a team. If you work your hardest you will succeed. Stuff like that. Nothing can stop a team. How about another team? Nothing can stop a team. Tell that to 6 million Jews. What wrong with the second one? Honestly. It's pretty good advice, Imo. Those that I see work the hardest typically see the most success. Obviously it's not a one-to-one correspondence, but nothing is really. Would you rather be unsuccessful, and have left something on the table, or know you gave it your all? Nothing can stop a team. Old Christians Club Rugby Union Team. Andes Mountains, hold my beer. That's managerial BS 101. I had a regional manager who used to say things like that to us all the time. He was like a never-ending fountain of these stupid inspirational quotes. We hated him so much. This, all I heard for my childhood. Teamwork makes dreams work. There is no I in team. But there is ME. My usual reply to people who say this is there is you in cunt. Nothing can stop a team. Literally saw this on an ad just as I was reading this. Spooky. Yet I agree. People don't take into account that sometimes there is a better team, or someone who works harder. When a team works slower than an individual. Yeah, this is not the best messaging. While we can aspire to be what we want, we also need to be realistic. I can't will myself to get to the NBA at the age of 35. Ironically, I feel I'm playing my best basketball just before COVID-19 hit. If you work hard, you'll increase your chances of success. If you don't work hard, you'll decrease your chances of success. If you don't work, your chances of success are near zero. Same. Teamwork makes the dream work. Sounds like someone isn't giving 110%. My motivation: if I work hard enough I will Seuss. Cause if anyone tries to stop me like Lorix I will break their fucking knees and won't let them. Many hands make short work. Unless, of course, 9 out of 11 of those people helping have no idea what they're doing in small, cramped space, so they're really just getting in the way and asking the other 2 people what they need to do, and the work would get done a lot faster with just the 2 people that know what they're doing do it. I helped to organize a senior chair volleyball league for a bit and our team lost every game terribly. It was a blowout. In the same vein, love the player, hate the game. Why would I hate an entire game because one player is an asshat? I'm fairly sure a machine gun could. Or a tank. If you work your hardest you will succeed. It really should be if you work your smartest you will succeed. You son of a bitch. I'm in. Nothing can stop a team. This isn't a thing. Come on. That's worse than coronavirus. Hello. We're calling about your car's extended warranty. I read that as cats and started wondering why I wasn't receiving these calls. My car that was totaled 4 years ago has a crazy good warranty. I can save thousands by paying a small fee via MoneyGram to keep it going. I just got a call like 15 minutes ago for that shit. No offense, but with all due respect, anyone who says that is an asshole. I'm not a racist, but buckle up, whatever you're about to say is gonna be some racist shit. In my experience anything before the but doesn't really count. I'm not racist but means I'm about to contradict myself. I learned from somewhere that whatever comes before the word but can be ignored. So would it be better to say I am trying to say something, it might come out as offensive. Please do not take offense at it, and wait till I finish my explanation before you respond. Seriously. My social understanding is messed up sometimes, and I really want to know. It's that too many people use it as an excuse to say very offensive things. Stop and think, do I really need to say this, and check that you're not just using it as an excuse to say something offensive. If those are both okay, you can still say it. Like the example above about a friend smelling and hears deodorant, they are saying something that could be offensive but they are saying for a reason and they have a solution immediately available. LOL, I am only laughing because asking an ADHD person to stop and think is like asking a river to stop flowing, almost impossible, smiley face. That being said, I do understand what you mean. My follow-up question is, why not just choose to not be offended by what the next statement is? Social skills are not natural to me, although I have found ways to understand them more and then use that to simulate caring in social situations. As bad as it sounds, that's how ADHD works for a lot of us, smiley face. Same with I'm not racist but, and any other variation. I like saying that and follow it with nonsense, like no offense but, the sky is very blue today, or I don't mean to be racist but the grass is very green. Harry, so you got fired again? Lloyd, yeah, they always freak out when you leave the scene of an accident, yeah no? Harry, yeah, I lost my job too. Lloyd, man, you are one pathetic loser. No offense. Harry, no, none taken. Something offensive. No offense, but you're a stupid asshole. Oh, I just say that when I make a joke about something other people really like to not sound like an asshole, but maybe it comes over vice versa. Anything before the word but doesn't count. Ned Stark. Also, has the Bobby B bot made it here? No offense but this park is pretty neat. Dad always taught me, everything before the but is bullshit. I'm not racist, but I think black people shouldn't be in leadership positions. I say it sarcastically all the time lol. No offense but you're a fucking idiot. No offense though. Ironically, no offense exclusively precedes offensive statements. I'm not racist, but context is important. If you're talking to someone who's sensitive and you're saying something constructive, then it's a good thing to lead with. If it precedes a derogatory statement, then it's dumb. I have a friend that says this all the time. It's like just because you say that before whatever offensive thing you are about to say doesn't make it okay. Sorry, not sorry. Southern version, well bless your heart. As an undergrad in a social relations course, IWS taught yes, but means no. In any given sentence, nothing before the but counts. I had a professor that told me if anyone ever uses the word but, just ignore everything they said before that. Ouch. None taken till you said no offense. Whenever someone says no offense, it just makes it more offensive. I'd rather you just go in balls first and say it to my face. I had a friend who'd put that before anything insults, compliments and neutral statements. Like he'd say no offense but you're taller than me so can you get that? So one day I pretended to be offended and said just because I'm tall doesn't give you the right to expect anything from me. It was a joke that really hurt his feelings. The customer is always right. The sad part is there is some real important truth to this. It's just been taken out of context. It was never intended to apply to an individual customer, it was intended to apply to the population of customers. The real idea is that if a particular product isn't selling, trying to blame it on the customers is stupid. Fuck off, Karen. This one always bothered me. It's so outdated. One of the guys that popularized the phrase died in 1906, to show how far back it dates. I'm all for doing what can be done within the parameters of the rules and regulations of the company to make the customer satisfied, but I've seen too much shit from working customer service/retail to ever take this phrase seriously. And personal opinion, anyone who uses that phrase to try to force a sales rep into giving them what they want annoys the shit out of me. Anyone who's worked in retail has a story about some asshole barking this at them. Feel like that's only really the case to an extreme in America. It's not a big scale problem in Europe or at least where I live. This only becomes a problem when customers say it, I think. At my store if you said customer, you meant a thief. The shoppers were called guests. The customer is always an asshole. Looking at you, Karen. The best way to deal with an asshole is take their money. Is a nice cynical view on the customer is always right. This is especially infuriating in artistic/creative fields like photography. That saying usually goes with as a gesture of goodwill. It grates on me every time. I had a boss that knew this wasn't true. One time this customer came in to use his rewards card and we haven't used those for years, all digital now. The customer got all pissy and my boss told him to download the app cause there's nothing we can do. Eventually escalated and told the customer to GTFO LOL. It was hilarious. Try coming to Europe. The Eastern the better for you as a worker. If a customer is having a stupid problem, you just throw them out. Your shop, you're the boss. Many times your manager doesn't even care about your attitude towards clients, as long as you're approachable and polite when everything is alright. If there was a Karen, I'm pretty sure she would have been beaten up by workers and other customers together. I work in a grocery store, and whenever someone complains about a coupon, I just say it varies from item to item, and it's hard to tell what does what, so it all depends on what it is. This always just ends in them saying oh, and carrying on. Which should be replaced by the customer is king. Treat them like royalty until they become a tyrant, and then off with their head. Never, for any reason whatsoever, stick a fork into an electrical socket. I did this as a kid once and the next thing I know there was a huge flash and I was flying through the air, crashed into the fireplace. I was completely dazed, bleeding from my head, chest, arms, stomach, and legs. My flak jacket was completely torn up. There was a tremendous ringing in my ears and my body was shaking. At first I was bleeding so badly I thought I was dying. But my bleeding was quickly stopped by all the bandages that my buddy, George, placed on me. The fight raged around me and the machine gunner, who was also wounded from the bomb blast. Finally, our CAP team called in helicopter gunships and drove the terrorists from our village. The Viet Cong left 4 dead and many blood trails. This is because a group of morons mistook the reason and context behind it and turned it into I can take my frustrations and insecurities about my own life out on total strangers just trying to do their jobs. With all due respect, the customer is a dumbass. I've always said the customer always comes first, they aren't always right. I hate this saying so much and this is a policy a lot of companies use. I work at Walmart and our policy is the customer is never right. Face with tears of joy, face with tears of joy, face with tears of joy. This is free. No, it's no dash. The customer is always right. I work in retail and have a counter saying, the customer like to think they're always right. Karens have abused this saying for so long. Everything happens for a reason. Someone actually wrote this on Facebook to a family member of mine after she had a miscarriage. And its cousin, it just wasn't meant to be. Agreed. Sometimes awful things happen and there is absolutely no reason. Whenever someone says that to me I respond with I haven't believed that since my uncle hung himself. It shuts them up real good. Everything happens for a reason. But sometimes the reason is that you're stupid and you make bad decisions. That's how it should be used. It was God's will is so infuriating when people say it in this kind of situation. I hate that bullshit. I managed to avoid any of it when my dad died, luckily. Ugh. I mean, it's technically not wrong. That's basic cause and effect. For example, reasons for a miscarriage include a variety of physical, chemical, or hormonal abnormalities. Obviously it's technically true, but it's pointless and probably not the best time to remind someone it's probably their fault. Especially as a means of consoling. We've had similar things after our kids were diagnosed with Duchenne muscular dystrophy. Or things like God only gives special children to special parents. Yeah, get into one of these communities. Seems like well over half are divorced, parents are dealing with mental health issues, etc. Jesus needed a 6-week-old fetus up in heaven for some reason. Sick bastard. Blocked, and there is a reason. My best friend has fibromyalgia, on top of many other issues, since fibromyalgia tends to be caused by having many things. Pretty much, She has IBS, really bad joints, endometriosis and insomnia, on top of anxiety and depression. Obviously, many of these cause each other. She's been trying to get help for over 5 years. Seeking medical help has put her in debt. She lives every day wishing she would die so she could stop being in pain every waking second. And her stepmom told her that everything happens for a reason. We find it funny and frustration that those who have never had to experience such emotional and physical pain find it so easy to justify the pain of others. It's like virtue signaling, except that these people have lied to themselves so successfully that they don't even realize that they're making themselves feel better and that they aren't actually doing anyone any good. The start of every college essay. It is what it is. People don't think it be like it is, but it do. Including why I'm blocking you. I say that about my smoothie dropping or my friend ripping her shirt, but not a miscarriage bra TF. Oh shit, well here's another saying relevant to that. If you don't have anything good to say, maybe just don't say anything. Plus, like, there is a handful of sad emojis, go with one those sad but relieved face. Plus, no, not that one, that is a laughing in tears emoji. Plus, mom, don't go on Facebook for a while. The tough thing is there's nothing you can say that people won't get mad or sad at if they're in a mood to get sad or mad. When I'm feeling down, I hate it when people say I care or I'm here for you. Conversely, I appreciate everything happens for a reason because objectively it's true, even if the reasons are random or bad. Some people are different. It's best to keep your distance if you don't know them well enough to know how they'd react, and then reconnect when the hurt is lesser. This is something I occasionally tell myself when I have no other explanation, grinning face with sweat. Thanks for describing the concept of causality. It's not helpful. That's incredibly common, unfortunately. Miscarriage groups are full of stories about the stupid crap people say in an attempt to provide comfort. I ended up divorcing the man who got me pregnant. I had 2 miscarriages with him, and I cannot count the number of times I heard, well, in a way, you're lucky. Kids make divorce so much harder. That's why I am against religion. I gotta be somewhat accepting of it because of our culture, but frankly religion is either an excuse to push all blame away from you or it's a comforting story about an unforgiving world. Either way it's dangerous because it basically brainwashes people into believing in fairy tales just because those people don't want to accept the cold and dark nature of the real world. I actually don't mind this. Humans innately need to have some reason behind everything, which is why pretty much every culture in the world has a religion. By having a reason, it gives hope, and life without hope isn't life. Every antecedent has a consequent. Major phrase for COVID-19 2020. I honestly think it's better to say nothing in those circumstances. Maybe just I'm here for you. It's comments like this that have made me really dislike Christianity. The fuck was she thinking, like she was going to give birth to a second Hitler? God killed your unborn baby because he has a plan. So comforting. Hey, a miscarriage isn't a bad thing. If my mom hadn't had a miscarriage before me, they wouldn't have tried again and had me. So that fucking loser baby that didn't make it sparked my life. That's what they told my parents when my 3-year-old sister died. I mean, that's technically the truth. God wouldn't give you anything you couldn't handle. Always a winner. That's a pretty douchey thing to do. I probably burst a blood vessel somewhere every time this is said. Like, do you understand cause/effect at all? It's such a brush off and an invalidation of how you're feeling. I'd appreciate it if you liked and subscribed.